program featuring individuals who talk about aging-related issues of interest to older adults and their families. I'm Cheryl Beversdorf, your host. As older adults reach their 60s and beyond, age-related vision problems can become more common. Depending on the condition, eyeglasses may help correct the problem. For some eye conditions, however, other visual aids or some form of vision technology may be useful. Today, my guest is Sean Curry, Program Coordinator with the Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan, Washington. Sean will explain the difference between vision loss and legal blindness and describe eye conditions often occurring among older adults. He'll also describe programs and services the Society offers individuals with low vision problems. Later in the program, Sean will show us different types of visual aids and examples of vision technologies. So welcome, Sean, and thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Cheryl. I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, well, let's get started by getting some definitions. I think there's so many different understandings of what vision is and vision loss. So explain the difference between vision loss, impaired vision, and low vision.
Sure. So I'll start off with vision loss. So vision loss oftentimes is the common phrase that a lot of people might use whenever, as we age, we're not seeing as well. We may need glasses or just reading glasses from the Costco or from the eye doctor, things like that. And that's a common way that we age. It's just processes aren't working as great as they once did, and they can be corrected. Impaired vision or vision impairment, that's when contacts or eyeglasses don't necessarily make the correction that they need to be done. A lot of the designations start that at visual acuity less than 20/40 in your better seeing eye. What that means is that what a normal person with optimal vision can see at 40 feet, you may need to be 20 feet away to be able to see. Vision impairment, a lot of the times is caused by uncorrected refractive error over time, or some common eye diseases like cataracts, things like that. Finally, low vision is when we get to a level of vision impairment that's impeding your activities of daily living, or ADLs. A lot of the times this is around 20/70 best corrected vision, but it does vary depending on the person.
And just so we all understand, the optimal vision is 20/20, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what exactly does that mean, the 20/20?
Sure. So what you're doing is when you look at the normal eye chart, the 20/20 means that optimal vision, you see at 20 feet, you see at 20 feet. 20/40 would be what someone normally can see at 40 feet, you need to be 20 feet away from to see.
Okay. Just wanted to kind of clarify
Sure.
so we know what we're comparing to. So with these three different explanations or definitions, how do they compare to legal blindness?
Yeah, so legal blindness is this is the legal level of vision impairment to where you can qualify as being through disability classification. So this is when you might be able to qualify for different benefits, different assistance programs, whether it be transportation, Social Security stuff, or also restrictions, like for example, if you're legally blind, most states you're not able to legally drive anymore. The level of legal blindness is 2200 vision. So we're talking about someone who, what someone normally can see at 200 feet away, so that's 2/3 of a football field, you need to be 20 feet away from to see. In addition, we can't forget about your visual field as well. So there's two different main ways they measure your vision loss. That's your visual acuity, which is the 2200, things like that. And then your visual field is how far you can see it, like as a fan from your eyes. So most people it's 2180 or a little bit in even. 20 degrees means that you're only really seeing that much of your vision. So you can see how that can be a serious danger when you're doing something like driving.
Right. So let's talk about the organization that you represent, the Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan, Washington. When was it established? What is its mission? Where it's located? Tell us about that.
All right, yeah, thank you. I'd love to. So POB is what we call it for short, but the Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan Washington. We were established in 1936. So we've been around for quite a while. We're one of the largest prevention of blindness associations that focuses locally in the nation. And we are dedicated to the improvement and preservation of sight and quality of life. We do this through providing services, resources, education, and championing healthy vision to all people in our area. So we're located, our headquarters is located in Capitol Hill, DC. It's about a block to a block and a half away from Union Station. That's our headquarters. We also have locations in Alexandria's Old Town, and also in Kensington we have antique shops and clothing stores and things like that that you can buy secondhand, and everything that gets purchased there goes directly back into our programs.
So the programs or the stores are like fundraising?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and everything gets back into our sight-saving programs.
Thank you for that information about the society. So explain to me specifically, what are low vision learning centers? Where are they located, and what types of programs and services do they provide?
Sure. So low vision learning centers, we have two that are located at our headquarters location and then in Old Town Alexandria. The low vision learning centers house many different resources you can learn about, but the main thing that you can really learn or get out of it is we have an optometrist who specializes in low vision, and what he does is he provides vision rehabilitation and a low vision exam. So what happens in an exam is we're looking at compensatory strategies to supplement, when appropriate, the contacts or the eyeglasses that you already have. So we're talking about optical aids such as magnifiers, video magnifiers, telescopes, things like that, and also non-optical aids such as bump dots or lighting and contrast and other environmental modifications. But a lot of the time also is spent really counseling the individual about different ways that we can really cope with your new vision loss and make the most out of it and still be able to maintain your quality of life and your independence. In addition to that, you also have the chance to learn about and receive training on these different devices and aids that are available. And also you get a chance to learn about all kinds of resources that are available, like our Low Vision Resource and Support Group Network, different reading aids and reading resources such as the Talking Books program, Metropolitan Washington Ear, or NFB Newsline, and then also a chance to learn about low vision occupational therapy, low vision teachers for students, and also work rehabilitative and work assistance programs that can be available to you.
And if an individual or an older adult or their family are interested in using the center services, can they just walk in the door, or how does that work in terms of signing up or finding out more?
Yeah, so a lot of what we do, we actually are doing out in the community as well. So we do children's vision screening services. We can help provide eyeglasses to both children and to those in need. And we also do adult glaucoma and visual acuity screenings. And we're out in the community as well doing low vision resource and support groups. So we really like to be out in the community with the community. We try not to force people to come into our office because, you know, getting around the DC metropolitan area isn't exactly the easiest.
Sure.
And if you're a little bit older and it's a little bit more difficult to get around town, or if you have significant vision loss, that can be even a little more difficult. So we want to decrease these barriers as much as possible. Our low vision learning centers are in our Eyeglasses for the Needy program are located in our headquarters, so that would be the main reason you'd come. But if you really want to learn more, the best thing to do is really call us or visit our website, and we can help provide all the information that you may need.
All right, well, then let's talk about several of the situations that occur, conditions. One of them is the age-related macular degeneration.
Sure.
That's a major condition.
Yes.
That's connected with older adults. Tell us a little bit more about that, and then tell us what the society does to help people with that condition.
Absolutely. So age-related macular degeneration, or the common term is AMD, that's what you might hear over and over again, especially if you start looking more into it. It's the leading cause of blindness in older adults. in the Americas, in the Western world. What happens is there's been damage that's been caused to a part of your retina, which is the back of your eye, called your macula, and that's responsible for your central vision. So when you're going to start losing your central vision, which you can imagine can cause quite a bit of issue, especially if you're not used to it and if it comes fast. There's two main types of AMD. There's the dry and the wet form. The dry form is more common, and what happens is fatty deposits or drusen you may hear about. They start forming on your macula, which can cause issue, thinning of the retina, things like that. That's the more common way. There are certain medications that you may be able to take, but again, you need to talk to your doctor about that. And then the wet form is the more serious form. What happens in wet AMD is retinas begin growing abnormally, and blood vessels start growing a little more abnormally, and that can cause damage to your macula as well, and causes scarring and things like that. That's a little more serious, and there are different things that you can get done for that, but again, that's something to talk with your doctor about. So what we can provide one is our low vision learning centers. We can provide low vision rehabilitation and low vision exams with our specialists. And then we also have a low vision resource and support group network. Now, this isn't just for AMD, this is for anyone who may be experiencing vision loss, or for a loved one or a family member, or someone who thinks that they might be at high risk and just wants to get out ahead of it before it happens. What we do with this network is, one, we have various support and resource sharing groups that meet monthly or quarterly, and that's a chance to learn about different low vision resources or different eye health topics, things like that, a chance to talk with a doctor, learn from a doctor, things like that. We also have our Your Eyes Today monthly newsletter, and in that newsletter it talks about various events that are going on in the low vision world, as well as different topics as well for you to read and learn more about. And then finally, as part of the network, it's a chance for you to really learn about the resources that are out there. We have a resource guidebook that's being updated right now, so in the next year we'll have a new version out that'll have a lot more technology-based stuff. In the past even 3 or 4 years, the technology has grown extensively, so it's something that we realize that we really need to update.
And are these resources, the Low Vision Resource and Support Group Network, is that for both those individuals who have been diagnosed with macular degeneration and their families? I mean, is it for all people concerned? Because I would assume that it could get kind of difficult in that the families may be involved. Is that true?
Absolutely, yeah. We don't restrict it to anyone. A lot of the times it tends to be individuals with vision loss, but their families are more than welcome to come. Even if you're a loved one and the family member with vision loss isn't ready to go, we recommend that you still come. And if you can't get them to come the first time, if you come back with all these resources that you learned about at this, then that might be the convincing point, or it's just a way to help inform this person who might be in denial, or you just may not think that you have a problem, or you may be just a little afraid, because losing your vision is terrifying.
And I'm curious also as to when you are getting the word out, are you focusing specifically on places where older adults meet socially, or assisted living facilities, or when I say socially, I think about like senior centers or whatever. Is that part of your effort of marketing or getting outreach? Is that how you do that? I mean, how do you determine then who you're going to be in touch with?
So we don't target specifically. We don't want to deter, because there are younger adults. However, the majority of our groups do tend to be in more older age, and we do try to have it where these people might be, whether that be retirement communities, senior centers, at times that are more convenient for them. So we're not going 8 o'clock Friday night out on the town with most people for these groups. We're going at lunchtime, early afternoon, and it might be a lunch and learn or a little tech talk from like 1 to 2:30, things like that. So we don't exclusively target seniors. However, it does happen to be a major population base for us.
Especially for this particular condition.
Yes, so for vision loss, it's more often
Understand.
than not seniors.
Okay, well, at the Society's Low Vision Learning Centers, individuals can test new visual aids and low vision technologies. Sean is going to show us these devices and technologies and explain how to use them. So let's watch.
Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be demonstrating different types of aids and devices that can help benefit or be of assistance for you if you have vision loss and you still want to be able to do different things. So the first thing I'm going to show is a CCTV, which is a closed caption television or video magnifier. So what you see here is I have this piece of paper, this document here underneath. It's lit up, and what you have here is the document. It can be zoomed in way, and it can go up to like 22x. Another thing it can do is it can change the contrast as well, depending on if you like yellow on black, black on white, blue on yellow, things like that.
3 million have low
And it
vision.
also
By 2030,
can read to you.
when the last baby boomers turn 65,
This is really beneficial if you have really significant vision loss.
impairments is projected to reach 7.
So I'm going to stop there because it can go on forever. The next thing I have here are what are called tactile or bump dots, and they come in different colors, different sizes. There's also different shapes. And what you can use for this is something simple around the house, like for example, you're on a dishwasher and it doesn't have the touch of the toggles. Well, you can put one of these buttons on the start and one of these on the stop, or things like that. Or if you're trying to cook and you can't read the dial anymore because, you know, it's so small already, and now it's even worse. So you put one of these, because they pull right off and they can stick on pretty much anything. And you have it, you put one on 350 and one on 450. So just easy, simple hacks. These things are so cheap that they can really come in handy for you. The next thing I have here is what's called, it's very similar to the CCTV, except it's mobile. And what you see here is that it'll zoom forward, it'll zoom back, just like the CCTV. It can change all kinds of contrasts, as you see here. And another thing it can do is it can take a picture, and now we can zoom in if we need to. So this could be helpful as well for if you're out eating at a restaurant and you just want to take the picture because it's really dark, and then now you can lean back and really enjoy the conversation while you're reading the menu. And another option we have is an even less high-tech but still very useful magnifier, pocket magnifier. And this also has lighting. And what's really beneficial with this is the lighting, in fact, because lighting and contrast is one of your biggest friends whenever you have vision loss. And as you see here, it can zoom out to 4x. There's different levels, 2x, 4x, 8x, so on and so forth. So the other things we have here are little writing guides. So this first one is for a little letter. So I have an envelope here, and let's say I want to address it to someone. So we're going to put it to the Prevention of Blindness Society. We're going to send it to myself. And this lets you be able to write on a line, and it really helps with the contrast in the black on white. And you see now we have 233 all straight and legible. There's different things like the checks, and then also there's little signature guides. So if you want to sign your name on something, it helps keep it straight and it gives you a guide. Now notice I'm using this pen. This is a bleed through bold point pen that can be very helpful for if you have vision loss. It gives you the contrast that you need, but it won't bleed through like a Sharpie would. The final thing I'm going to show is something that many of you probably have and don't realize how great of an option it is, and that's your smartphone. So on your smartphone, in your settings, general, you have an accessibility option. And in accessibility, there's all kinds of options to make it more helpful for someone who might need higher contrast or you have other vision issues. So the first option is zoom. And what you do with zoom is you turn it on, and then you are able to double tap 3 fingers. And now you're zoomed in, and you can move this all over, and it zooms in. There's many different levels of magnification, and you zoom back out. Simple stuff like that. Another thing is the magnifier. So when the magnifier is on, you triple click the home screen. And then you can take a picture of anything, and it has different, so let's take a picture. And I know this picture looks a little scary here, but what you can do is you can go and instead of having it inverted, it can be in grayscale, yellow, blue, white, or even this is the standard picture. If you were to invert it, it goes a little different. And you can also zoom in and zoom out once you get out of there. And then move around. So then this is another thing where if you're at a dinner or on the bus or something and you can't read the map, you can take a picture of it. And then very simply, you can zoom in, zoom out, and put it to whatever sort of contrast that works best for you. So it's little things like this that can really be helpful for you. Not all of these are really expensive, and they can help provide you're able to do what you still want to do every day, maintain your quality of life and your daily activities of daily living.
I hope Sean's demonstration of visual aids and low vision technologies has been useful in learning about resources available to help older adults with significant visual impairment. So now that we've seen these different technologies and visual aids, how do these types of technology devices that we just saw, how do they provide new ways for people with low vision to live more independently? Because that's really the goal. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah, so the major goal, like you said, is to be able to live independently, successfully age in place, still be able to do the activities that you still want to do, whether that be mountain biking or you just want to be able to cook dinner or be able to go see a family member. That's really the main goal of what these technologies provide. A lot of it is visual. There's also the non-visual stuff and things like that. But yeah, that's the main goal of a lot of these technologies, and we want to do it at the lowest cost possible to the individual. We don't want you to have to spend $10,000 on different devices if you can just get away with bump dots and a $8 or a $50 magnifier.
Well, and that's what you were showing us during the demonstration. So I'm assuming that these are not available at the society. When they come to the society to see these different devices, do you tell them where they can be purchased? What kind of information do you provide there?
Yeah, so we really recommend that you get the low vision exam and the vision rehabilitation before you make these different purchases, because like I said earlier, we want to make it as low a cost as possible. And a lot of the times you might buy something that you just saw on the internet or on the TV and you see, oh, this is so cool, and it was 8 easy payments of $99.95, and then you get it and it's just going to sit in the corner by your computer and you never use it. So what we do is you can purchase some of the products, but we also can provide you with the supplier if you prefer to do it yourself. We can tell you about what websites to go on for both the low vision, or for the low tech stuff, the cheap stuff, or if you really need something more expensive, say a CCTV or one of those portable magnifiers that's a little bit more pricey, we can help you out on where to find them. Unfortunately, insurances don't really cover much of this stuff.
And Medicare.
Yeah, Medicare, they don't, unfortunately, but there might be opportunities. If you talk with your local county government's Department of Disability or Social Services. I know Virginia has a department for the blind and visually impaired specifically. They may be able to provide some sort of assistance, whether that be identifying secondhand products. There's a loan program, things like that might be available. It does change from over time, so just call and check.
With your society?
You can call the society or call directly your local Department of Disability or Social Security as well.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get at a couple of more situations for older adults. One of course, is glaucoma. So tell us a little bit about glaucoma, and I understand there's some type of a screening program that your society offers. So give us a little bit of an overview of glaucoma and how the society provides services.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get super into the weeds about glaucoma because I am not a medical doctor. However, glaucoma, it's a disease of the optic nerve. A lot of the times it's correlated with increased eye pressure for your eye. However, that's not always the case, we're finding out. It's commonly known as the sneaky thief of sight. They call it that because a lot of the times you'll be losing your vision and not even realizing it until it's too late, and the vision loss that occurs from glaucoma is permanent. What happens with glaucoma is you start losing your peripheral or side vision over time, and as time goes on, it gets more and more in, and eventually you might have very horse blinder eyes, and you don't even realize it until you're bumping into walls everywhere. So with glaucoma to early stages, there's no symptoms. As time goes on, you might start experiencing it, and what we're trying to do with our screening program is we do a visual field test. So what this visual field test does is we're screening for the whole visual field. We're trying to find if there's any blind spots going on. Because if there's a lot of blind spots going on, that is an indicator that you may be experiencing early symptoms or moderate symptoms of glaucoma. So if you were to fail one of our screenings that we do out in the community, we do them in different nonprofits, health centers, health fairs, senior centers, government buildings, things like that. If you fail, we do recommend that you go get an eye doctor, and you can take your results with you to help your eye doctor see what's going on. In addition, at these screenings, we also do visual acuity, and we have all sorts of eye health information for various eye diseases like glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, cataracts, so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, so if people want to learn more about the society, where should they look, and what's the website? Tell
Sure.
us.
Yeah. So our website's www.youreyes.org. That's YOUREYES. You can also call our number 202-234-1010. And then you can also email us. You can email me at scurry@youreyes.org or at communications@youreyes.org, and we can get back to you as soon as we can for any sort of questions you might have. If you are suffering, or if you have low vision, or you want to get onto our mailing list for our free newsletter, you can just send us an email with contact information, and we'll be sure to get it to you. We have both the print version and we have an online version available as well.
All right.
Or visit us at our headquarters,
Which is, again, where is it?
233 Massachusetts Avenue, Northeast. That's in Washington, about a block and a half from Union Station. Then we're also located in Old Town Alexandria and in Kensington off Antique Row.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Sean Curry with the Prevention of Blindness Society of Metropolitan Washington for joining me today. This program is broadcast Sundays at 5:30 p.m. and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Comcast Channel 69 or Verizon Channel 38 in Arlington, Virginia. Or it's also streaming live at those times on arlingtonmedia.org. Aging Matters is also on the radio. The program is broadcast every Tuesday at 2 p.m. on WERA-LP Arlington 96.7 FM. And for a full list of all Aging Matters radio programs, visit tiny.cc/Aging Matters archives. Finally, both radio and television Aging Matters programs are posted on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Aging Matters WERA. Thank you so much for watching the program today. Please join me again for the next Aging Matters show. And remember, and until then, age is just a number, not a label.